Broadcasting from the Bayou State and all around the Gulf Coast and streaming nationwide. This is the C.L. Bryant Show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the C.L. Bryant Show. I am C.L. Bryant, and this, again, is the C.L. Bryant Show. All of you folks there in North Carolina and Southern Arkansas, East Texas, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. It is the gateway to the weekend, Thursday. It is Thursday here, the gateway of the weekend, and I certainly hope that you are planning a safe weekend. Be sure to tune in the show tomorrow. Be sure to tune in the show tomorrow. Going to have California Ted Hayes on with me, as well as others. California Ted Hayes will be on with me, as well as others. James Comey finally has a day to appear in front of people who are going to ask questions about what really went on. He's given a slight version of what was said to him by the president, and I guess we will get the rest of the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say, here very shortly. I can tell you that the scheme to redistribute your money is been foiled. How has it been foiled? American wealth distribution has been foiled by what your president, my president, our president has done today. This climate accord with Paris, has never, ever been about climate. It has been about the redistribution of American wealth. It has been about the fundamental change that takes place when you have socialists in charge of your government, when they have a design. It's like somebody reaching into your pocket. Somebody reaching into your pocket. And I want you to see this. You can even teach this to your kids. Let's just say they have a candy jar. And somebody, you or somebody else, comes and says that they have to give their candy to other kids in different neighborhoods around your town. And they have to replenish that candy jar. That's exactly what this Paris Accord was all about. People reaching into your pocket, not pulling their own weight, but reaching into your pocket in order to enjoy the fruits of your labor while thinking that you owe them something. That is the socialist agenda. And that's what this Paris Accord was all about. Folks riding along on the train, but not doing anything constructively to add to their own productivity, their own outcome. You want climate change, you want clean air, then contribute to it. But Americans, we have been doing that in spades. And what these Europeans had been doing to us, they had made the deal with Obama, and Obama did this, folks. He did this without any type of Senate approval. He did this without any Senate approval. That's exactly what happened. And he did it with the idea that he would spread the wealth around. But today, we are out of that arrangement so that we can make a better deal. And folks, sometimes it just comes to that point where you have to make a better deal to save your job. And the day after 2020, this is what I don't like about it. The day after the 2020 elections is when this actually officially takes hold, what he said today, which means that there will be an all-out assault to defeat this administration because the progressive liberals do not want this deal to go away. You may not have known that, but this does not officially take hold until the day after the 2020 presidential elections. Oh, it's diabolical. It really is. That green climate fund, yeah, your money's in there. Taxpayer money. And with all of this said, the leading polluters in the world, China and India, the leading polluters in the world, could still do exactly what they're doing now for the next 13 years. Dr. Joe Bastardi is going to be coming up a little bit later on in the show, and we're going to talk about this religion of climate change and why it is such a hoax. But they can still do what they're doing. The leading polluters in the world, China and India, could still do what they do, but not us. India could double their coal production, but we would have to cut back on ours. Yeah. This arrangement was designed to put America at a disadvantage, and it was done by, here's the word, designed by Obama in order to fundamentally change the way we do business in this country. Yeah. Fix it so it's hard for us to compete. But you're going to have your tree huggers, and you're going to have all of those types of people out there saying that this is the wrong thing to do. And since it does not officially take hold until 2020, you had better buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be a bumpy ride to 2020. I'll be back. See y'all. CL, back with you on this Thursday here, gateway to the weekend. The jewel cities of the Arklatex, Shreveport, and Bossier. I am your native son, broadcasting throughout the fruited plains of the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known, and that is America. We were talking about the pulling out, withdrawing from the Paris Accord, an accord that was not, and you got to understand, this is not a treaty. Okay, this was not a treaty that was signed, that was engaged in by our nation, ratified by our Senate. It was indeed an agreement, an accord that the president signed with other countries, and the way it appears is that he signed this accord in conjunction with agreeing to redistributing American wealth, because the only people who would really be contributing to this in a big way would be Americans, would be taxpayers, you, me, would be taxpayers, which meant that the wealth, the American wealth, the great wealth that we have in this country would be redistributed among developing countries. And the former president, Obama, he went along with that. And the reason why the French and all of those people were just in love with him is because, as the president said earlier today, they laughed at people who were that stupid. But no more. Redistributing the wealth. People who don't want to pull their end of their part of the weight, but want you to make up the difference. Redistributing the wealth. That's the same thing he said to NATO countries. NATO countries were not paying their fair share. Were not doing their share of the work. No. But they wanted to get the benefits. That's what they wanted. And so, here we are, right now, facing a lot of stuff with this climate change idea. Keep in mind that jobs would go to where the work is, right? Right. Jobs would go to where the work is. Right? Yeah. And let me tell you something. The coal industry, if we continue down this path, India would have all the coal miners and coal workers there. What has just happened is that we have breathed this president. You can like him or dislike him, whatever. This president has breathed new life into the coal industry, into energy, into making America great again. He has effectively stopped the fundamental change of our nation. Energy production is good for America. Yeah. Especially here in Louisiana. But the problem in Louisiana is that you have the wrong governor at the helm of this state. You heard me tell you a couple of months ago now, whereas you had a major oil company coming home, Mobil Oil, decided they didn't want to do business here, went to Texas, You have people leaving here going to Texas to get work. Yeah, you do. Jobs would do the same thing all over America. But now I love what the president said today. Listen to this. I was elected to represent the people of Pittsburgh, not the people of Paris. You gotta love it. Americans first. And I really don't care who the president is. A man who says that, a man who is saying that, is a man after America's own heart. And he not only said it, he's backing it up with his actions. This religion that is blinding our children, this religion that is choking our country of climate change, green energy, is a sure jobs killer. It's a sure jobs killer. And it could not have been said any better. It could not have been said any better than what was said from the Rose Garden today. We'll stop it. But keep your eye on the ball, because there is going to be an all-out war, all-out assault to defeat any Republican who will be running for office. Why? Because this officially does not take hold until the day after the 2020 elections. And you're talking about people wanting to save a sacred cow. Climate change. Tree huggers want to remain tree huggers. Fish gotta swim, right? That's what's gonna happen. I'll tell you what. Be back in a minute.
Do you remember back in 1966?
On with now, Caddo Parish Commissioner. I almost said Caddo Parish County Commissioner. I don't know where I get that from. Mario Chavez. And before we bring Mario on, Mario, I had an invitation to come to something for you last night, but Jay was here doing a remote for us, and I was out in Houghton. But I want to wish you a happy belated birthday, brother. Many, many more. God bless you and your family. Thank you so much for bringing him up there, Jay. Thank you so much for doing what you do.
I was going to try to go to Europe, but I couldn't make it there and back to my dinner by 7 p.m., so I had to miss yours. So thanks for saying that.
Absolutely. And you know what, man? Now you have some breaking news for us. You have something that you want to bring us up to speed on. Go ahead. You got the floor.
See, I don't know if it's breaking news, but Michelle definitely wanted to put us on the air, and I appreciate her for that. This Saturday, we're going to have the Splash into Summer event at Southern Hills Pool, where from noon to 4, we're going to have the first 100 kids that show up. We're going to give out kid-sized life vests brought to you by the Red River Waterway Commission. We're also going to give away 100 free swimming lessons, and that's not for this Saturday, but you come to the event to pick up your voucher. So for all the people that have young ones at home that need to learn how to swim, and maybe even some adults, because it doesn't say whether they're kids or adults for the free swim lessons, we have donated from Rock Solid 100 free swimming lessons. So you come pick up your voucher, and then anytime this summer, one of their licensed swim instructors will teach you how to swim. We have many more things that are going on this Saturday. We're going to have pool events. We're going to have a hula hoop contest, belly flop contest, a lot of fun things. Even yours truly, Jay Watley, will swing by and do a cameo. We're going to have the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. The River and Lake Patrol is going to come by and do a safety class for the citizens on what to expect, proper river and water etiquette, what to do on your boat, how to wear your life vest. Just really a good time for the kids. We're going to have free food. The entire event is free. Caddo Parish is sponsoring this event. We're going to have huge water slides for the kids. It's going to be open swim to the public. Doesn't matter if you live in Southern Hills or not. We just happen to be one of the better neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
Sorry for all my other friends in other neighborhoods, but I think mine is the best because I live there.
Absolutely.
So it's really going to bring out the neighborhood and let everybody come and just commingle, have free food. We're going to have popsicles, unlimited for the kids. I really think it's going to be a great event. Now, CL, as a pastor, I'd ask for your prayer that it doesn't rain. We have light showers for about 3 hours, so we're going to ask that stays off until later in the evening. But I think it's going to be a really good time for all.
Well, yeah. Now, give us the time, the place, and who's underwriting it again, Mario.
It's going to be it's sponsored by Caddo Parish Commission. Steve Prater is helping us out with the event, as well as the Red River Waterway Commission. Academy has been very gracious. They've brought their price for the life vest in half, so we're getting a lot of really nice Academy life vests for the kids. We got them at half price, and the Red River Waterway Commission is the one that funded the purchase of the life vest. It's from noon to 4, and there's going to be free food the entire time. We're going to have DJ. We're going to have music. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Is that this Saturday?
This Saturday, yes, sir.
This Saturday, I am going, and that is going to be where again?
At the Southern Hills Park. It's the park with the big blue water slide on Burt Coons, the Spar Park.
Spar Park on Burt Coons. Folks, you know where that is. If you travel down Burt Coons at all as toward the east, if you're coming, well, of course, from the west, going traveling east, you're going to see it. Southern Hills Park. You know where that is. I'm going to announce this again as we go through the show, Mario, because this sounds like this could be a great time. Will there be our interaction with our people, our first responders? I know Jay Watley's going to be out there. That's enough to go out. Right. That's a reason to go out right there. Jay Watley's going to be there.
We're going to push him in the pool. Don't tell him.
Okay.
But you're right. The Sheriff's Department's going to be out there. We're actually using the Sheriff's Department barbecue grill. The hamburgers and hot dogs is going to be there all day long. Come come if you can't stay very long. Just come and at least get a free lunch.
So these are going to be grilled dogs
Yes.
and burgers.
Nothing but the best. We're doing charcoal grill, everything. It's going to be all out.
You know what, Mario? I have two granddaughters visiting up here themselves. They're here for Vacation Bible School. It's going to kick off next week. I think that we just may have to make a trip through there and get them some dogs.
Come on, CL. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Mario, thank you for everything that you do. You have been a real stand-up commissioner since you took that office, although I knew you would. I'm not surprised. Don't nobody get me wrong. I'm not surprised that Mario is doing, Chavez is doing a great job. He is doing a fantastic job. Mike Middleton is doing a fantastic job as well. And Mario, I really like the way that you toot your own horn there because you live in the area. And Grandpa used to say it's a poor puppy who won't wag his own tail.
There you go, CL.
Listen, God bless you, man. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
All right, bye now. Mario Chavez, go on out and be with him and an event that is sponsored by the Shreveport, by the Caddo Parish Commission, 12 to 4 there at the Southern Hills Recreation Center. That's right there on Bert Koontz. Right there on Bert Koontz. Let's see. I think that's right as you cross the railroad tracks there. It's on your left-hand side. Go out and check it out. It is going to be fantastic. And, hey, take your kiddies with you. Don't you just show up there eating the dogs and stuff. Bring the kids and the grandkids out. They want to see a huge and fantastic turnout there. Grilled hot dogs, grilled burgers. You know it's going to be fantastic. I know they're going to have something to wash it down with. Absolutely they will. And summertime is officially kicked off. Well, it's the unofficial. Last weekend was the unofficial start to the summer. But down here in the South, it's time to hit the pool. I guess that's the official opening of the swimming pools too, huh? Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, sounds like the pools are officially opening.
Let's go, baby.
Too. Hey, I'm going to meet you out there. Going to have two swimmers. I mean, they can swim. And so we're going to eat some hot dogs, though, and I'm going to sit and watch you get pushed. Well, I shouldn't say. I should say. Mario told me not to.
Yeah, hang on.
What was going to happen?
Talk about that.
You're going to bring your little girls, too, aren't you?
I'm going to try to, yes, sir.
Let's do it. I'm CL. I'll see you Saturday from 12 to 4, Southern Hills. Be right back.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway. Looking for adventure. And whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, go.
Broadcasting from the Bayou State and all around the Gulf Coast and streaming nationwide. This is the C.L. Bryant Show.
Welcome back to the C.L. Bryant Show, and so glad that you are there as we stream live throughout the greatest nation on the face of the planet, the greatest success story the world has ever known, and that is America. And today I do believe that we were put firmly back on the path of American prosperity by curtailing the redistribution of our wealth behind something that is called climate change. Our president said it very clearly, that we're being taken advantage of. On with me is someone who is not new to this show. He is a regular on the show, someone we have great respect for his professional opinion. He is a meteorologist and weather forecaster, expert on his opinions on global warming. Joe Bastardi, welcome back to the C.L. Bryant Show. How are you?
Great, and thank you for having me on. I always feel like I'm coming home, so to speak, because I used to be on 71 Keel with lovable Larry Bryant.
Yeah, he's still around doing his thing.
I know. I'm friends with him on Facebook. It was J.P. Huddleston was the news guy there, and I tell people the story all the time. In '83, I was made the honorary police chief of Shreveport, Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah, I hit a snowstorm. It was the first day we were on 71 Keel, and I went out with 6 to 12 inches of snow in Shreveport. 1983, and it was an El Nino year, and there was no snow in the forecast from our rivals. And Larry Ryan got on the air and he says, "You know something? You're done if you miss this forecast." So he says, "What time's the snow going to start?" And like a wise guy, I go, "Well, at the time I was working for AccuWeather." I said, "We're AccuWeather. 10:30, and if it's not 10:30, then your watch is wrong." Well, about 10:30, it started snowing all get out, and I think you had 7-8 inches of snow. So they invited me down for the Crawfish Festival in April that year, and I was made. They said they couldn't make me mayor, but they could make me police chief.
We could do that.
So I just love it.
Well, it's a great town, and I certainly do thank you. I know that you're a Pennsylvania guy for sure. And
well, I grew up in Texas. I lived down at A&M for a while.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Well,
my dad went to A&M. He's a meteorologist from A&M, graduated in '65. So I was down there. He was the oldest freshman on the A&M campus, and he graduated at the age of 35. Now that's a story. The guy comes from the Federal Hills section of Providence, Rhode Island. Served in the war or in the army, and then was working as a laborer. And he said, "I want to be a meteorologist," and we all went down there. So it was culture shock there for a while back in the '60s.
Oh, absolutely it was. Well, you know what? Since you predicted and forecasted that snow would start falling about 10:30 so many years ago now, right here in Shreveport, and Larry Ryan will give testament to that, you are the perfect person to have on. That's exactly why I had Michelle get you on. You're the perfect person to tell us what the meaning of this pulling out of the Paris Accord means to America. Were we being taken advantage of, Joe?
Well, first of all, you got to understand that the whole climate change agenda is a degrowth political/economic agenda, and basically most of these people are jealous of the American experiment and the success that we've had, and that's the only rationale I can come to. And I think there are a lot of people in this country that have become like that, where they think we're stealing from the world. And I keep, as Colin Powell says, we leave people back in other places, usually in the ground, because we've defended them, for one, and for two, the American economy, by its actions and becoming a prosperous country, has benefited the rest of the world around it.
Yeah.
Now, we can't help that they don't adopt our system of government and our system of freedoms over here. And because of that, there's this worldwide jealousy. And the Obama administration, I grew up with my family and I hung around people and listened to them. When you hang around someone like the former president hung around with, you're going to have a different worldview than, let's say, someone like you or I, right? So, I mean, he was really, he believed that the United States waged economic war on the rest of the world, and he would, it was amazing watching him because he's probably the best politician I've ever seen.
Oh, he's good. I give that the former president credit for that. He was a great politician.
Oh my goodness, he could get up. I'd listen to his speeches, and you would think like you're going to get ready to start singing, the Star Spangled Banner, and they just do the opposite. So, and what he was literally trying to do, and look, see, what was crazy was they let the cat out of the bag. The EPA administrator, Gina McCarthy, said in congressional hearings, I almost fell out of my seat when I saw it. She said, well, this is only going to save 0.01 C, but it'll be a great example for the rest of the world.
Yeah,
words,
yeah.
Killing,
and you know what, Joe? This is something that really gets me too. The two major polluters in the world, China and India, for the next 13 years, they could just pump it out, and we're the ones who would have to amend our ways.
All pain, no gain. Well, let me explain these. First of all, it undermines the U.S. competitiveness and jobs. That's the first thing, okay? The deal was badly negotiated. It extracts meaningless commitments from the world top polluters. You think China, and I appreciate the advancements of the Chinese people. I'm not trying to take that away from them, but 13 years, they don't have to do a darn thing. In the meantime, they could build a coal plant a week, and it's that soot, not carbon dioxide, soot that's dangerous.
Right.
The U.S. is already a clean energy, oil and gas energy leader.
Right.
We've reduced our emissions. We're below 1994. And we did this without the Paris Accord. We did it because of the innovation of people and the desire to improve ourselves. And the agreement, this is crazy, the agreement funds a UN climate slush fund, and it's underwritten by the American taxpayer.
That's amazing.
I mean, you're transporting, this whole thing, we've upfronted $3 billion to them, and I'm like, what are we doing? And it has little effect on the climate. As I just said, Gina McCarthy herself said that. And you look at this and you realize the whole climate argument. When you look at the global temperature versus CO2 in the history, the geological history of the Earth, okay?
Yeah.
There's no linkage. When you look at the past records of temperatures, climate optimums, where life advanced most on the planet, was when the planet was warmer, and in addition, warmer than what we are now. The models that they're trying to base policy on have busted horribly, and finally, per capita income and life expectancy, along with the amount of people on the planet, have gone up.
Well, Joe, let me ask you this. Is the planet warming more than it would cyclically? Is this man-made? Let me just cut to the chase. Is this man-made?
Here's the problem, okay? Is it man-made? Well, given that every other time before it wasn't man-made, the obvious answer is no. The obvious answer is no. For you to believe that it's man-made, you'd have to believe the increase of 1 molecule of CO2 out of every 10,000 molecules of air over 100 years. We're not talking about one a year. We're talking over 100 years. Is now the climate control knob in the face of the sun, the oceans, stochastic events, volcanoes, for instance, and the very design of a system, CL.
Hold that thought, Joe. Hold that thought right there. I'm going to come right back with you. I hear the music. We'll be back with meteorologist and great guy, Joe Bastardi, when I return. CL. Thursday, gateway to the weekend throughout the fruited plains of America. Kind of a short week for us after we have honored our fallen dead who gave all to defend the liberty and freedom of our country. I'm on with a great American himself, that is Joe Bastardi, meteorologist Joe Bastardi. And Joe, you were talking about, I had asked you about man-made climate change, and you were breaking down for us what it would take for it to be that if it was that way in other times.
If you want to buy into total belief of that, you have to believe that CO2 is a climate control knob now. It's never been the entire history of mankind and also the geological history of the Earth. That's never happened before, and I mean the odds of it being the control knob are very, very, very small when you actually break it down. Does it have some effect? Maybe. I mean, maybe it has. How much? Let me ask you this question. I ask you: you want to get into a debate? If you want to make an impression where you can tell if the person's logical or not, if with this global warming stuff, you say, okay, all right, tell me what the perfect temperature of the planet is. First of all, do you know the temperature of the planet now, the average temperature of the planet now?
And you don't know. The average person doesn't know.
Tell me what you want, right?
Yeah.
What is the perfect, given that the Earth is now greener than it's ever been in the satellite era, because guess what? Planes love CO2.
Yeah.
What's the perfect level of CO2 for maximum the maximum progress of life on the planet, be a plant, animal, or whatever it is? They don't know. They wish they and you see this all the time. These people who are looking for something in their life to be bigger than them, they create straw men and try to fight them and become the heroes. Now, I'll tell you what the real problem is here. My daughter tweeted me some stuff, okay, with the whole this is being called a racist act, what Trump did.
Oh yeah, I heard this preacher talking about that. Yeah.
Is that so? The UN Secretary General said the Earth has got to get off its hook on cheap energy. Now, who does cheap energy benefit the most? Does it benefit some guy that's
poor people
sitting in a tower in New York City where if energy prices triple, he doesn't care? What about the guy that's making $30,000 a year trying to improve his lot? He's spending all his money on energy. Now, I'll tell you the other thing. If Trump is smart, he's got to realize he's got to use all these things that are going to get into the weakest among us, because you're only as great as the weakest among you.
Absolutely. When we're talking about the weakest among us, Joe, now we're looking at Paris. We're looking at people like that, the European nations. They were actually laughing at the past president because they knew they were taking advantage of it. Now, people are saying there's going to be a blowback because Trump is wanting to pull out of this. Why should we care about a blowback in your estimation from the European nations like Germany and Angela Merkel and those people?
I don't even know. Look, there's a big philosophical battle going on today. One is absolute truth versus relative truth. Absolute truth, the natural truth, God's truth, I call it, never changes.
Right.
But relative truth, it's whatever's happening at this time is always changing. So there's that going on. But you also have people who are what I call degrowthers. And the best way to even, if you're lower, the best way to even the playing field is to take the top guy down somehow or the other. Right? And that is what I think is going on. And, of course, in the Obama era, I mean, you saw the decline of America. I know that they were counting, the way unemployment was counted. How many people were improving in their own jobs? People were just trying to hold on. We have 13 million more people on food stamps and high-paying jobs and that type of thing. And that was a purposeful degrowth policy. Yeah. And it's European. And most of this stuff comes out of Europe. I mean, Marxism came out of Europe. You look at all the stuff that's come out of Europe. And, and what happens is you look at that and it becomes painfully obvious. And, of course, China's going like, go on. Go on and do that. You don't have to produce stuff. We'll be glad to continue.
We'll do it. And, Joe, the scheme, so this is so the idea that has been sold to the entire world, evidently, except for us, and of course Syria didn't sign on, and Nicaragua didn't sign on either. But the whole world is bought into this scheme, and so has this become sort of a worldwide religion that everybody
Oh, yeah.
should wear the same tinfoil hat?
Listen. The natural tendency for man is to try to do something bigger than him. Now, you get guys like me who believe strongly in God, and
Yes.
I believe to elevate myself is to reach toward God.
Try Jesus. Everybody try Jesus.
That's what I believe. Okay.
Me too, Joe.
But look, what is going on now is government and world government is taking the place of God. We see it all the time, and you become dependent on something, it becomes your God. Now, it's fine and dandy when it's giving you everything you want. Then all of a sudden you realize you don't have freedoms anymore. So you're seeing that go on. And people go, we've got to get behind something. Look, this is Wilsonian. I mean, the guy said, why can't we unite the planet behind some big issue to prevent wars? And he goes, like the climate. This came from Woodrow Wilson.
What
right?
bigger issue can you have than the climate?
Right. And here's the thing. You're not going to control something you did not create.
I agree.
That's
Amen to that.
absolutely.
I agree.
It's absolutely nonsensical to think that. Now, like for instance, you're hearing people go, "Oh, there goes the water. There goes this. There goes that." Trump didn't say anything about stopping what the EPA is really supposed to do, keeping things clean, right?
Right.
What we're arguing over here is, are we putting the kind of shackles on our economy that will prevent the growth of our country and the idea that the rise of the individual leads to the rise of those around them? And you're not guaranteed anything, but at least you have a chance to do something. And the way we're being taught today in the schools is we're not teaching individual talent and focus. We're teaching all this idea that everybody's the same, and if this guy, I wish this idea was out when I was wrestling. I wrestled Penn State, and I wasn't one of the better guys on the team. Believe me, I outworked everybody. I did.
You worked hard,
right? But
yeah.
let me tell you this. Well, why didn't I get in the line? Look, I worked harder than this guy. I saw him out partying the other night. He still beat the daylights out of me in practice. Guess who had the starting position, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. When you want to be free, you're allowed to take risk. Now, what's the best way to do that? The best way is to empower people. If you have cheap, clean energy, it empowers people. You know, the funny thing about this is the symbol of American freedom is really not the eagle, all right? It's the car, because you can get in your car and go from one place to another, and no one can really tie you down as long as you're mobile. But if you want to restrict somebody, what do? You take away their source of energy, and that's what I think you're seeing.
Joe, God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, God bless you. Thank you for having me on. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. CL, back in a minute. That's all I'm talking about. Take care of business. And I have a feeling that that's exactly what we are on our way to doing now that we have been unshackled by things that are choking us. Getting rid of things that are bad for business. Americans, Joe Bastardi said something that was really, really interesting. And many times we don't think about it. But those who don't have one do think about it. Those who don't have one do think about it. He said that the symbol of American freedom is not really the eagle. It's the car. And what's so interesting about that is that when we look at what has been done here by necessity today, no, you don't see the eagle liberating you. If you got a car, well, you got to put gas in it. But if you can't afford the gas to put in it, then that diminishes your mobility, your ability to be there or to explore or to go places that you need to go. The car is indeed a symbol of freedom. And also, this point was made. Who is hurt the most by high energy prices? Any of you out there who are paying high energy prices, whether it's for electricity, coal is the reason for the electricity, whether it's gasoline. And gasoline prices, they're not bad. And what's so crazy is that I remember when gas was in the instead of dollars, it was in cents. When gas went to 99 cents a gallon, I was outraged. I had a family. That's how far back I go. I remember all the way back to when if someone gave you $2 for gas just to take them somewhere or something, man, they gave you something. They actually contributed to you. And now, my goodness, if you give somebody even $10 for gas, you really hadn't done a whole bunch. No, but I do remember when $2, Mom would go to choir practice, she'd pick up 2 or 3 of the sisters for choir practice, going to choir practice, and each one of them would give her $1. And hey, $3-4 for just a ride to the church and back home. Mom made out. She never had to put her own money as far as gas in the car. And back then, gas was maybe 35 cents a gallon. It ain't like that now. But it was about to be worse if we had stayed in this accord that was designed to redistribute our American wealth. Coming up, we're going to talk about things that are designed to redistribute our mindset. I'm going to be talking to Diane Long here in the next segment, in the segment that's coming up. There are things that are designed to rearrange the American mindset. Yeah, and you be sure to tune in this show tomorrow. Matter of fact, I have some time now. Take your calls, 318-320-5335, 318-320-5335 is the number to call. You all may have heard about the terror attacks both in Turkey and in Manila. Yeah, I was planning on going to the south of France here in about 5 weeks. Jane decided she doesn't want to go because, terror. Things are going on. I was asked to come and speak. They are saying, of course, they cannot guarantee my safety there. And, of course, you can't guarantee anybody's safety anywhere, to tell you the truth. But I'd rather have my safety not guaranteed in a place where I'm familiar with here in America than somewhere where I don't really speak the language. Je parle un peu français, but I don't speak the language. And so that is why Jane and I have opted out. And Michelle, if you're listening, that is the definitive answer. We're not going. But I will be going. I do believe we're going to be going to take our grandkids to this thing 12 to 4 on Saturday at Southern Hills. That's the recreation center right there. You know that pool. You pass it if you go down Burt Koontz at any time. 318-320-5335, 318-320-5335. Mario Chavez, along with his good buddies that he has connected with here in our great town of Louisiana, there in great town of Shreveport in Southern Hills, will be putting on, it's basically a all-out barbecue. Yeah, the sheriff department's providing the barbecue pit. Our good buddy Sheriff Prater has pitched in on that, along with several others who are sponsoring this thing, along with Mario Chavez, Caddo Parish Commissioner. And it's going to be hot dogs, hamburgers. You got some drinks coming. You're going to be ice. I think he told me it was snow cones or what have you. Going to have a great time out there with the chillin'. Bring the children out. Bring the children out there and have a great time on Saturday from 12 to 4. And I got to tell you something. You better get there a little bit early. I'll be coming around 3 o'clock. I'll be bringing up the rear. Clean up, man. I bet clean up on them hot dogs and hamburgers. We got to go to a thing a little bit earlier in the day, but I will be making it out there. Come on out. Bring your children. Southern Hills swimming pool. Crack it open. Start the summer right. I'll be right back. Yeah, we must break on through to the other side. You're listening to the C.L. Bryant Show. I am C.L. Bryant. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us on this great American journey and throughout the fruited plains of the greatest nation on the face of the earth, the greatest success story the world has ever known. 318-320-5335, 318-320-5335 is the number to call. Jay, I think we will take Joe. Joe, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind, friend?
I was just calling. I had a thought and get your opinion on this. I think it was wrong for Trump to take out, to pull out of the Paris Accord. But I think it didn't surprise me because two things. One, he seems like the kind of guy that, every trade agreement, every agreement that he didn't have a part in by definition to him is bad. So I thought that the only way he would have stayed in is if he could have put his spin on it, I kind of think that, it's just every agreement he comes to that if he hasn't had a chance to negotiate it, it's a bad deal.
Well,
so that didn't surprise me.
Well, that's exactly what he's going to do. In fact, that's what he indicated today, is that he's going to try to make a better deal. And whether or not, it's because he wants to put his stamp of approval on it, because billionaires do that. Billionaire businessmen always want their stamp of approval on any deal that they enter into. Politicians, on the other hand, like the one that we had before this president, of course, I think he wanted to be liked by the rest of the world. What we're seeing in dichotomy is someone who just wants to do business. What do you say?
Okay. I don't think it. I think you make the point he wants to do business. I don't think that's what it was at all. I think he felt pressure because of the domestic agenda, for better or for worse, whether you buy into this liberal media thing that they're pounding him, whether you buy into that or not. Right now, you got to admit that his administration is feeling a lot of pressure. I mean, they're putting a war room together, all this kind of stuff. The only thing that's saving him domestically is his base, right? I mean, the Congress would bail on him in a minute. The only reason why the Congress is staying with him on the Republican side is because they're afraid of the base.
Well, you know what? The base is what the base, Joe, is what gave them their jobs. I think that's a point that's missed. Not only did we give him President Trump, we gave Mitch McConnell the gavel. We gave the same people who elected Trump gave Mitch McConnell his gavel. They also gave Paul Ryan the gavel after John Boehner dropped the ball. And this is what I want. This is what I want to ask you. Do you think it's fair to our nation to have to clean up our act, which we're already doing? We're already doing much more than any of the other nations are, while China and India continue to be able to pollute. Is that a good American idea?
Well, okay, I'll be honest with you. I haven't read the agreement.
Well, now stop right there. Because if you haven't read the agreement, China can continue to pollute in the way that they're doing now, along with India, but, Joe, not us. We have to toe the line. This is what the president was saying is stupid and unfair, for us to be paying for them to continue to pollute while we spend billions, if not trillions, on cleaning up our act. Joe, that's un-American.
I would disagree with that. I would disagree with that.
You mean America should pay everybody else's bill for clean air?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
All of our air. What I'm saying, okay, this is what I'm saying, all right? I believe, whether you believe global warming is bad or not, okay, the idea that we should have a more efficient economy, a more sustainable economy, is a good thing. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This Paris Accord, I don't see this as shackling the American economy at all.
Sure it does. Let me tell you why. Okay, let's say that India, because you hadn't read the agreement, you don't understand. India was okay to go ahead and open up 3 more coal mines. America, in the process, were shutting them down. So where do you think those coal mining jobs were going to go? To America? No, they were going to go to India. This was an agreement that actually redistributed not only the wealth of America, but it took away the jobs of America. Joe, I'm going to tell you this. Before you call me back, I want you to read this thing because we were being crippled. We were being taken advantage of, and the reason why we're in the crosshairs right now of the Europeans is because we're no longer their patsies. Thanks for your call, Joe. 320-5335, 320-5335 is the number to call. Roger. I'm CL. Who do we have, Jay? Roger on the line. Roger, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind?
Hey, CL, I agree with that last caller to some degree, the global warming thing, but you were right in the fact that we were paying the lion's share of what I've understood about the news media on TV.
Yeah.
But global warming started when the Ice Age started ending. We have been warming ever since the ice melted across the nation.
Okay.
And
but has
nothing,
this, did you hear Dr. Joe
Did
you hear Dr. Joe Bastardi, Roger? Did you hear him when he was on? Dr. Joe Bastardi was on with me just a couple of segments ago, and he said this is nothing that hasn't happened before we had the industrialized world.
Well, that's right. There's nothing new under the sun. I believe you said that not too long ago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I believe somebody said it before then.
Oh, yeah, I think Solomon may have put that down.
But anyway, what I wanted to ask you, talk to you about is Medicare.
Yes, sir.
I'm retired now, and I started paying on Medicare when I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm 65 now.
Yeah.
Why do I have to pay $160 a month to get Medicare?
Well, that's a great question, man. And you know what? I'm soon going to be going down the same trail that you're on. I'm getting stuff from
you're
them.
Just a little bit younger than
just
I am.
A little bit. So
little bit.
you know I'm already looking into it and examining my options and all that type thing. And somehow, you know what, Roger, that is you're absolutely right. It doesn't seem fair because, like you, I started working washing dishes back when I was 15 years old, and they were taking back then. I think what minimum wage was $1 or something, whatever it was, and it wasn't much. But they still took out money. And so I'm still going to have to pay. You and I are going to have to pay. But, Roger, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we're the last generation that may be paying anything. We just may be 20 years from now, nobody will know what you and I remember to be America, Roger. I wish I could answer that question for you, man, but I have no clue.
I don't have a clue for it either. It makes no sense to me. When they first started Medicare,
Roger, stay right there. Stay right there. Listen, I got to go. There's the music. Thanks for calling. I'm CL. Be right back. CL. Headed for the home stretch here on the CL Bryant Show. And I want to talk about something, even though it is an issue that we are very much concerned about here in this area of the country. But though the rest of you who are listening to the show through wherever you are throughout the fruited plains of our great nation probably are concerned with these issues that my next guest and I will be talking about as well. I want to welcome now to the show Diane Long, who is a shaker and mover here in the grassroots movement. Met her several years ago now. It's been a while, Diane. We've been hanging out together a pretty good while now.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on with me. Now, two bills I want to talk about that I think died yesterday or day before. Sanctuary policy bill first died on Wednesday, I believe that was. Tell us, what significance does that have for us?
Well, actually, the sanctuary policy bill was basically what it does was it was trying to allow the Attorney General to be able to do his job here in Louisiana. You know, basically what happens when a policeman or a deputy stops somebody, they have the ability to ask for their driver's license. If someone's undocumented, then they have 4 categories that they're placed in. One of the categories, if there's no driver's license or identification, is undocumented. Well, those people go to jail, but they're very often ICE, which is their immigration federal officers, are not called, or they don't cooperate with the sheriff or the police. So these people very often just are free agents. They go free. And that particular bill would keep people from a political subdivision from being able to adopt sanctuary policy so that that kind of thing can go on. It died. It was just, nobody was there to stand up for it. Valerie Hodges did her very best. She tried to explain the importance of it.
Wow.
But yeah.
So this means now that if an illegal alien, let's just say an illegal alien, so the audience is up to speed, if the illegal alien is pulled over by the police, the state troopers, and he does not have, if he does not have the right documentation, really they don't really have the authority to take him in if he doesn't have the proper papers, even if he doesn't even speak English or whatever. I don't know. You know, so we've actually weakened our police, our people who enforce these type of policies. Is that what was happened?
Yes. Well, and basically, yeah. Once they have that inability to do anything because there's no identification. Well, if they take them in, which there is a fine for traveling without a driver's license, so that is a law that they can enforce, but then there's no jurisdiction. They're basically free agents. They're put in jail, and if ICE doesn't come get them, there's nothing they can do to them.
Wow. We just pay for them to be there until they're back out on the street to kill somebody in a DWI or in a shooting or something like that, which has happened.
And it has happened many times. And let me say that this particular committee basically tried to rake me over the coals, telling me that I was delusional. But, that they questioned my, veracity and saying that, are you sure you really spoke to police? Well, why aren't the police here? Well, that is a good question. Why weren't the police there?
Wow. You never know. Stand down order. Who knows what may have happened? But also the monuments bill died as well, didn't it?
Yes,
in committee.
But let me tell you, I think it's alive again. People, really stood up for this one, and there was a lot of interest, and people came down to the committees. And Rob Maness, by the way, has made a big push. Who's our representative down there for Louisiana Power Coalition, and he has been pushing and really trying to get people to come to the committees, and they're standing up and telling people, the committees, that they definitely want the monuments to stay for history's sake. And so, evidently, the particular, committee that it went before, they decided for the entirety of the state, so they just didn't agree with us.
Wow.
So they just voted it down.
Well, but it may have some life still.
That's right. I heard this afternoon that Senator Beth Mazzell is going to ask for it to go out of committee straight to the Senate floor for debate. So if you continue to call and ask for the monument bill to be heard as a vote on the Senate floor, then it might still be alive if we can get the senators to vote for it.
Well, you know, Diane, as I listen to you, when I look at what's happening with our sanctuary city policies and sanctuary policy bills dying in committee, when I look at how history is trying to be rewritten by hiding our history and not learning from it, I do see the fundamental change that has been promised by the past administration. And if people of good American fiber and conscience don't take on this fundamental change agent, then quite frankly, folks, it won't be the same nation that we enjoyed as we were coming along.
And I love what you said the other night. I was listening to you about the fact that the consciousness of people are beginning to change.
Yeah.
And one of the very things that Karen Carter Peterson pulled, he pulled the two cards we always hear about, and that's the race card and the white guilt card.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
That's what the liberals will be playing for the next 4 years, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about that. Diane, thank you so much for being on with me, and thank you for fighting the good fight. I know you will continue because you are. God bless you.
Thank you.
Tell your dad I said hey.
I will. I certainly will. Bye-bye.
Bye now. That was Diane Long. She has been in this fight for a while. And, folks, I mean, she and Brenda Brock and all of those folks at the Louisiana Power Coalition, they meet on Tuesday nights. Diane, text me when you all meet so I can announce that. You want to go out and be a part of that. Yeah, you want to go out and be a part of it. I used to be able to be there most nights. That and prayer meeting I never missed. But I got to get back. Anyway, I'll be back home stretch when I return. See y'all. ZL. Roger, I just got an answer to your question here, and this very well is it, and this is a man who would know. Kenneth Bretches Insurance Company. Kenneth Bretches knows these types of things, and Kenneth was listening to the show. He has been one of our supporters, Kenneth Bretches Insurance Agency. He said, this is your answer most likely, Roger, and you're looking at your Part B as far as your Medicare coverage. You're asking why did you have to pay $160, whatever it is, for Medicare coverage, and he was saying that you are paying the premium that you are paying the premium for your Part B services, which are medical services at the doctor's office and other healthcare providers. If you had worked at least 40 quarters, he's not being charged for Part A of Medicare, which is for hospital services. So there is a health insurance professional's answer to you. You are paying the Part B for other services, but you're not paying for Part A. And now, me not yet being there and not being in the, although I have a daughter who works for Medicare, the institution, and in Florida. But let me tell you something. This, folks, is a concern as the population is aging. In fact, I think if I got this right, I think we actually outnumber. It's so many of us right now that there's not going to be anybody actually to help pull this wagon. That's why the price of your longevity, not just your liberty, but the price of your longevity may be eternal vigilance. And that's watching out for people as we get older wanting to knock us off. Hey, just a thought. Don't want to alarm you, but just a thought. And I certainly want to thank my good friend Kenneth Bretches for giving us that answer. And hey, listen, for all your insurance needs, you might want to give old Kenneth a call. Kenneth Bretches Insurance Company. Now, sanctuary cities is what we were talking about. We were talking about how here in Louisiana and wherever you are listening to this show, you might want to inquire into this. In Los Angeles, you don't have to worry about it. New York, same way. In Texas, hey, it's a battle going on over there. Battle going over in Texas. But the battle here, they get pulled over, don't have ID. They take them to jail because they don't have the ID, knowing that they're undocumented aliens. They can go there, and if ICE doesn't pick them up, then I guess after a certain period of time, they got to let them go. I really do have to look deeper into that. I have been so busy trying to get this show expanded and all. Haven't been paying close attention to a lot of things that I normally do, the little details like that. The Monuments Bill, again, America, the history of the nation is wanting to be rewritten. I know that if the story of America was told by the nation, by the Native Americans, it would be told differently, but it would still be a history. You wouldn't be hiding from the history. If the story of America was told by the Confederates, it would be a different story. You do understand. If it was told by the slaves, it would be a different story. Or let the Irish tell their story. Let the Italians tell their story. It would be a different story, but you still wouldn't want to hide from the history of it, the historical references to that story. That's what's going on. People are hiding from the historical references. And you can check all this out. You can always dig into the historical veracity of any story. But you shouldn't want to hide from the historical events, because then you're not honest with your children. You're not honest with those who come behind you when you take down monuments that contain within themselves a story. The monument gives you an opportunity to look at it and say, hey, what's that about? When did this happen? And that is in lieu of people not wanting to talk about it. When you have the monument there, you're forced to talk about it because it becomes the elephant in the room. The monument itself forces us to deal with the history. But when you hide the monument, you give those people who will be dishonest with history a chance to just ignore it because there's nothing there to remind anyone of it. There's no kid who's going to look over and say, what's that? And the thing that we have been running into is trying to spare the children, their feelings about history. Why? Because many times I'll put me in that too, even though it's not me. I don't mind telling folks about my great-grandparents being the sons and the former slaves. I'm the great-grandson of former slaves. You've heard me say it here many times. I am proud to be one of the survivors. That's why we have a lesson to learn from those survivors, the children of those who survived the Nazi death camps. You have a lesson to learn from them. They don't want to wipe out the history of it. They want you to know what they survived. It seems to me that people who are survivors of one of the great American atrocities, slavery in this country, it seems to me you would want that story not hidden. You would want that story told. And you would want to gain strength from the fact that you are the child, the children, the grandchildren, the descendants. You survived. That's a story of victory, but no, we buy into the story of victimization. Somehow that's more comfortable to be the victim rather than the victor. Don't let them do it to you. I keep telling you, don't let them do it to you. I'll be back. Yeah, just give me 3 steps. Mister, give me 3 steps toward the door. Listen, let me tell you something. 318-320-5335, 318-320-5335. We are in the home stretch, so I better get to this call. Jay, the phone's actually lit up there in that last segment. On the line with me now, I'm going to take MP Dave. Dave, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind?
I got a question for you, CL. I want to know about this petition about LSU having to renounce their, the Tiger as their name.
Yeah.
I think this is ridiculous.
And you know what, Dave? It is. And what's happening, let me tell you about the move that's going on across the nation on college campuses. They are using students, minority students, and I think it's George Soros money, I'm pretty sure it is, that is sponsoring these students to just uprise about anything that they can think of that can be deemed racist. And it is a movement like we have never seen in this country before to create civil unrest around the topic of racism. And it has come to Louisiana. You saw it in North Carolina. You've seen it in Berkeley. Now it has come to Louisiana, and they are targeting the mascot, the LSU Tiger mascot. It is just absolutely demonic. I mean, it's just demonic what's going on
there. You
now.
say demonic. Who's next? NSU with the demons?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to have to get rid of the demons?
Oh, yeah.
From NSU? I mean, this is crazy.
Oh, the Raging Cajuns, all of that, Dave.
Exactly.
They're gonna take it on.
I don't understand this.
And
all right, and then the next is going to be the Saints.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's going to offend somebody that's not Christian.
Oh, yeah. We have let a genie out of the listen, we have let a genie, Dave, out of the bottle. Pandora's box has been open, man. And I pray for America, I really do, but there's some action that we're going to have to take here as citizens of this nation, or the socialists are going to overrun us. The socialists are going to overrun us.
They are.
And
CL, let me explain one thing. I've got about 4 or 5 guys you're on in the morning on a repeat thing. I'm getting them hooked on you.
Great.
And I'm sorry I couldn't make it out to the
man, yeah, we had a great time, man. Oh, we had a great time.
But I'm trying to get people hooked on you, and they really love it.
Thank you so much. We're about to be nationwide here very soon, Dave. Stay with us. We're going to go along with me on this ride.
Yes, sir, I will. And God bless, and y'all have a great evening.
God bless you, sir. Yeah, he's right. It is it's nuts. It is absolutely nuts. But let me tell you, this is what I was going to say to Dave. Let me tell you something.
Yes, sir.
The Republicans are actually helping in this effort. John McCain, John McCain is a bona fide war hero. John McCain is actually helping in this effort in so many cases. Yeah, he definitely is. But Dave, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead. Got time.
They are picking everybody off one by one. And like they're after Hannity right now.
Yeah, they are. They're after my good buddy.
And
I was on. I don't know if you heard me on Sean last Friday. I was on.
Yes, sir, I did. But, I mean, I called into USAA, who I use, and I said, hey, you need to rethink your thinking, and we've all done it, and they have retracted their statement. And,
Great.
We have to back up people like you, Sean, and Rush that are standing up for us, and because they're going to start with the big guys, and then they're going to come, they're going to work their way around.
Oh, yeah, they're coming for you,
We're all going to be in trouble.
They're coming for everybody. They're coming for everybody.
We have to call the backers and say, I want you to back CL. I want you to back Hannity. I want you to back,
Thank you, man.
We have to stick together.
Thank you, man. God bless you. God bless you, Dave. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, he's right. We, as the founding fathers said, we will hang together, or we will surely hang separately. They already got O'Reilly. They're after Rush. They've been after Rush for a long time. They're after Sean. They come after me when I'm on the road. Oh, yeah. My speaking tours and so forth, always in the company of people who don't want me there. conservatism, patriot. This is the thing, folks. Patriotism is under attack. Anything that reminds folks of how great we are as a nation is under attack. You better believe it. I'll be back to close it out. I'm CL.
Well, I was rolling down the road in some cold blue steel. I had a blues man on the back and a beautician out the wheel. We're going downtown in the middle of the night. We're laughing and I'm joking.
If you had not have fallen, then I would not have found you. Angel flying too close to the ground.
The very fiber of our nation is under siege. And the things that bring to memory why we are great is under attack. The narrative of the American story is under assault. And the question that Americans asked and answered in this past election is this: why should we be the patsies and fools for every other country in this nation. Why should we let them ride our backs? A wise man once said, no one can ride your back unless it is bent. In America, we had been bending over and letting them climb on board. But I hope that you stand with the rest of us in sending this message to the freeloaders around the world that the free ride on the American back is over. I know that maybe it could be done in a better and different way, but I'm just glad that we finally have a president who has the courage at least to try and tell and send that message that the ride and us being used as patsies and pawns for the rest of the world, the free ride is over. If there is nothing else that may have been done right about backing out and coming out of this deal with Paris, at least that message, I hope, was sent not only to them, but to some of the tree-hugging socialists that are in this country that don't understand that we're tired of people riding our backs. It's bad for business. Don't you ever forget that the price of your liberty is eternal vigilance. OTJ himself. Well, tune in tomorrow. Be sure to do it. I'm CL, and I want to thank God for bringing us to the close of yet another day. And I want to thank him for our men and women in uniform around this globe who defend our right to speak our minds. And until I'm able to talk to you again, may God bless and keep you all.
And the